Today I'm going to install Swift lowering springs. I'm also going to put in an adjustable camber plate system. 9 inches, 11 inches. I just want to check that the shock is still functioning. And it is. I need to get the suspension aligned, so it doesn't really matter where I put this. Put it close to -1. I tightened this to 120 foot-pounds. I needed another, I think it was 18 or 19 millimeter socket to hold this in place while I tightened this. And then this end length was 41 foot-pounds. Up here, these are 25 foot-pounds. I have stud conversion, so I need to torque it to 87 foot-pounds instead of 103. The rear shock looks pretty simple to replace. There is a 18 millimeter socket right here, and then up here there's two 13 millimeter ones right there. So once we have those loose, this thing should come out. I'm going to use a jack right here to hold this in place while I loosen that. There's 2 brake lines and a sensor right there, so I'm loosening that. This cap piece was stuck in here, so I had to use a pry bar. I just put it here and gently pushed it out, and then this entire piece just popped out. So make sure it clears the brake lines. If you take a look at this, it's slanted at this angle, so just make sure it looks like this when you put it back in. This is a 16mm socket. I forgot to use the spring compressor, but it didn't spring out too much. So I think the orientation was this. Check the shock to make sure it's working. It's going, but it's very slow. This might need to be replaced. This is the stock spring on the left, about 10 inches, and the other one is about 9. So that's an inch shorter. Let's look at the compression. It's pretty stiff. This one's a little bouncier. So I have this torque down to around 22 foot-pounds, and I'm going to put it back in. The top ones are supposed to be 41 foot-pounds, and then the bottom is, I read it's 122, but a dude stripped it. Another site recommended 103, so I'll do around 100, maybe 110. I felt like the best way to get this up was to put the lip of this jack onto that, then push this down, and then feed this through. Once that's aligned, I'm going to just tighten this in. This is the 2009 Mini Cooper height from the ground. That's 6 1/4, 2.5 inches. That's about 7 3/4. It's 2 inches, 10.5 inches, about 2 inches, 7 3/4, and also on the side's a little lower. That's about 1.5 inch. It's been about half a year since I've installed these Swift springs, and I'm pretty sure they have settled, so I'm just going to do a quick measurement of the height differences. 1 inch, 6 inches, about 1 1/4 inches, 10 inches, 1 1/4 inches, 6 inches, 3/4 inch, 5 inches. part that made the most difference on this car would probably have to be the Swift springs. Since I installed them, the ride quality has been a lot better. The takeoffs are quicker, braking is quicker, cornering is a lot better. I also added the 25mm hollow, but it's comparable to a 23mm rear sway bar on the medium setting. Actually, it's on the lowest setting, and that made a big difference in handling as well. Improved it. I didn't think it'd make such a difference, but the springs, in addition to the rear sway bar, made a pretty big difference. I also have that front transmission bushing, and I felt like that made somewhat of a difference, but I think the springs made the most noticeable improvement. So right now, I'm just going to drive around the lake. You can get a sense of what the handling is like. So I'll take it a little slow, and then I'll pick it up as we continue driving. I'd also say that the ride isn't a lot harsher than stock. It is a little stiffer, but it's not too stiff where it's uncomfortable. There's just there's the right amount of balance. I haven't checked the numbers yet, but it should only lower the car by less than ½ inch on each side. So as you can tell, on these semi-smooth roads, the handling is pretty good. It's not too bumpy. The road is pretty smooth here. And here's a little bump. One thing I did notice was that my MPG decreased by about 1 mile per gallon, and I'd probably have to say that's due to the fact that the car takes off a lot faster, so the car is more responsive, and maybe I'm stepping on the gas a little harder. So we were in non-sport mode. I'm going to put the car in sport mode and pick it up a little. There.